In the days of Herod, king of Judea, the story of God's faithfulness begins to unfold in a surprising way. This is the account of Zechariah and Elizabeth, a couple who walked blamelessly before God but carried a heavy burden. They had no child, but God was about to perform a miracle that would bless them and prepare the way for his son. Zechariah was a priest, and his wife Elizabeth came from the priestly line of Aaron. Despite their advanced age and Elizabeth's inability to have children, they remained faithful to God. Their prayers for a child seemed unanswered, but God's timing is always perfect. One day, as Zechariah served in the temple, something extraordinary happened. He was chosen by Lot to enter the holy place to burn incense, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. As the prayers of the people rose outside, Zechariah encountered an angel of the Lord standing beside the altar. "Do not be afraid, Zechariah, for your prayer has been heard. Your wife, Elizabeth, will bear you a son, and you shall call his name John. He will bring you joy and gladness, and many will rejoice at his birth. He will be great before the Lord, and will prepare the way for the coming of the Messiah." Gabriel explained that John would be set apart, filled with the Holy Spirit from the womb, and would turn many hearts back to God. "How can I be sure of this? I am old, and my wife is advanced in years." "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God. Because you doubted my words, you will be silent until the day these things take place." When Zechariah emerged, he was mute, just as Gabriel had said. The people realized he had seen a vision. Meanwhile, Elizabeth conceived, just as God had promised. Elizabeth smiles, placing her hand on her growing belly. "The Lord has taken away my disgrace among the people." This miraculous event was not just about a child. It was about God's redemptive plan. John would prepare the way for the Messiah, fulfilling God's promises and ushering in hope for all humanity. When the time came, Elizabeth gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives celebrated with her, rejoicing in the Lord's mercy. Elizabeth holds her newborn, smiling. "What will you name him?" "He shall be called John, but none of your relatives have that name." They turned to Zechariah, still unable to speak. He wrote firmly on a tablet, "His name is John." Light fills the room as Zechariah's voice returns. "Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel. He has come to his people and redeemed them." At that moment, Zechariah was filled with the Holy Spirit and praised God, prophesying about John's role as the prophet who would prepare the way for the Lord. The entire region was filled with awe and wonder. Everyone who heard about these events asked, "What then will this child be?" For the hand of the Lord was surely with him. From the promise to the fulfillment, the birth of John the Baptist reminds us that God hears our prayers and works in miraculous ways to accomplish his purpose. Through John, the world would soon hear the voice of one crying in the wilderness, "Prepare the way of the Lord." This is the word of the Lord.